Hey YouTube, what's in the cupboard today? We're running out of beers to review. Let's go with this one. Boom. We got our beer for the day. We do. So today's beer is from Vidi. Vidi in Newfoundland. All right. So this is Bogs and Barrens, and Bogs and Barrens from the people that have sent me beer from Newfoundland. I actually ordered this from Vidi, but I've had beers sent to me from Newfoundland before, and there was a Bogs and Barrens variant sent to me. And it's a beer style that they make with botanicals that they can get in and around the area. So this Bogs and Barrens is Sweet Gale and Cranberry Porter, and it is 5.3% alcohol by volume. Now, there is some signatures back here. One from Lori McCarthy, and one from Marsha Tolk, and it's crafted by Vidi Brewing Company. It says it's unfiltered. Lori McCarthy and Marsha Tolk have been collecting and cooking their way through the wild foods of Newfoundland for decades. They are continuously working to preserve and share traditional food gathering and preparation methods. It is important that we can hold on to this unique part of our cultural heritage that is in danger of fading away. It was a pleasure to work with them on this brew. So there you go, they foraged this, the Sweet Gale and the cranberries. Let's see what we have on Untapped for it. There is a spiel on here that looks a little longer. 123 people have tapped it in and has a 3.89 out of 5 on Untapped. This latest edition of Bogs and Barrens series, a London-style sweet porter which I love, with the addition of hand-foraged Newfoundland Sweet Gale and cranberries. Chocolate and sweet coffee malts blend with the herbal and fruity highlights to make a delicious, dark but not roasty Newfoundland-inspired beer. Dark chocolate in color with a light ruby tinge and frothy dark tan head. Aroma of dark fruit, light cocoa, and sweet coffee. Newfoundland cranberries provide some tang and a fruity character. Are Newfoundland cranberries different than everywhere else's cranberries? Because they ain't tangy. They don't give us, tangy and fruity. There is nothing fruity about a cranberry. For those of you that are into experiencing what something is really like, don't drink cranberry juice or cranberry cocktail. Don't eat cranberry sauce. Go out and buy a bag of cranberries. Come out around Thanksgiving and around Christmas, and they come out so that you can buy them and make your own cranberry sauces and shit like that. Go out and buy a bag of cranberries. They're usually fairly cheap. Hell, even in the Arctic, they were only like $3 a bag, so they're fucking cheap as shit. Buy a bag. Try a cranberry. You ain't gonna want to try another cranberry. You ain't gonna want to. And you're gonna wonder how cranberries were used in so many. And people will go, well, I've had craisins. Well, dried cranberries bring the fruitiness out. They don't bring. I don't know. Maybe you have to wait. Maybe a cranberry has to be at an exact point in time to be worthwhile at all. But the cranberries I've bought, oh my god. No, thank you. Okay. While the Sweet Gale brings some herbal tea-like notes to the table, just enough complexity to make things interesting and ultimately delicious. And the reason I like beers like this is that they are going to be interesting, and sometimes they are very delicious. I cannot express enough how much I adore people that are willing to try things, that are willing to experiment, you're not always going to succeed. It's not always going to be a success, but they talked about a ruby hue, but that, I wouldn't say that's ruby red. That's more like a mahogany brown. They are right about the head. The head is a beautiful... Actually, they said dark, frothy, chocolate-like head. No, that's more like a... maybe starting a mocha, but like a off-white tan. All right. So we have it all in the glass. Let's push the glass. You can still see the glass right there. We'll put the can right here. Bogs and Barrens from Quidi, Vidi. That is really interesting. The sweet Gale does give a herbal tea-like sensation to the scent. But what I'm also getting is almost like a Yuletide cake. And I mean, maybe it's just because it's chocolate and coffee and sweet Gale and cranberries. But there's something Yule-like about this. Almost kind of like, I don't know, just it reminds me of Christmas, sniffing it from the can. Out of the glass. Out of the glass, the chocolate shines through, the coffee shines through. I don't really get the cranberries or the Gale, but I'm okay with that. It really looks nice. It does. It looks nice. I guess it's time to try it, eh? Like, we just gotta jump in. Cheers! I'm excited and worried and apprehensive and scared and I'm nervous. I don't get nervous about beer often. I'm nervous because I really want to like it. I have high hopes for it, and I'm scared. Very interesting. I'm sorry, I know there's not a lot of times I go silent in my life, and this seems to be one of them. Not a great time to go silent. That's a good beer. It has chocolate notes, it has coffee notes, it has an herbal tea note to it. And it tastes like Earl Grey, and I know that Sweet Gale should not give off an Earl Grey flavor, but It tastes like Earl Grey with chocolate and coffee mixed in. I do get a very apparent bitterness on the very back. That's covering the back of my palate, but it's not coffee. It's not roast. It's it's the cranberries. Um, but I do get what's the best? I get like a mixture of yarrow and pear and raspberry that I've never picked up before with a cranberry. Again, are Newfoundland cranberries different than the cranberries you would get from like Ocean Spray or something? I don't I don't know. I thought a cranberry was a cranberry was a cranberry. But I mean, I know an arpic is a skyberry is not always a skyberry. Excuse me. Um, I'm intrigued. Medium body. Oh, that sip. That sip was more akin to what I know from a cranberry. It was very sour. It had a little bit of bitterness on the back end to mix in with all the other flavors that I'm normally picking up on this. Well, that I've picked up on this beer. And it's 5.3% alcohol. This is a beer that I could see myself sit out at a campfire just sipping. You know, some guys sit around sipping scotch and stuff like that. I'd sit around sipping this, because every sip so far, and I know I've only had like 2 or 3, but every sip has been different. And it's like you're exploring the wilderness of Newfoundland and Labrador while you explore this beer. You're on an outing, and you're foraging, and you're rubbing things, and you're sniffing, and you're tasting, and it's a really, really nice feeling. I'm not 100% sure why, but I really like this. I want to try more beers from Dildo. I want to try more beer, and yes, I said Dildo. I want to try more beers that I haven't had from Newfoundland to begin with, because Quidi Vidi is the only one I can really get my hands on. And Quidi Vidi is a weird one because I made an order for 12 beers. I only got 11 beers. I did get 12, but they repeated one because of how long it took them to package the package and send it to me. But in that, I've had a guy that tells me that he works for them want to send me beers to review like 4 different times, and I've given him 4 different addresses because I've lived in 4 different places, and never has a beer come from him. And I'm like, are you just like stealing my address to do something with? And then I made my order, and it took like 3 weeks for them to even package it and put it in the mail. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this brewery? But it's a good brewery, and I mean, if you live near them, I'm sure you get great service from them. They make some good beer, and I know Newfoundland is island time and this and that, and it's different than the rest of Canada, but it's weird to me that this brewery, who put out all this stuff into the world, like I work for them, I'm their marketing guy, and then I got promoted to this, and then I stopped working for them, but I want to do this, and then I'm working for them again, and I want to do we're going to ship across Canada to, like, all the different things they do, and they make good beer, but they don't seem to know how to run the business aspect of it, like the the outside the province business, because from what I hear from the guys I talk to in Newfoundland, they do amazingly in Newfoundland. So it's weird to me, and I'd love to try stuff from other breweries. I'd love to try more of theirs. I'd love to try everything, because this brewery is the one I've had the most from, and it shows what this province can do, and they can do just the same as every other. Here's the thing I've found, right, and I've talked about this before. It seems like the smaller the province, the better the beer has to be. However, the less anyone outside the province knows about the brewery or the beer. Because, I mean, if your province, say like here in Regina, well, not Regina, but Saskatchewan, if your province only has 2 million people in total, well, what, 2.6 or something like that? If you only have a quarter of Toronto, well, the GTA's population in your entire province, you're not going to get the hype, you're not going to get the talk, you're not going to get all that. But to win the people over to keep coming back to you, you have to be fucking good. And I think that's where stuff like this is weird. And, yeah. 8.75 out of 10. Thank you. Bye-bye.